So good evening, Nino. Just want to
Good
see,
evening.
thank you very much for taking the time. I just want to see what's the last minute before the gun goes off. What is in your head? What are you preparing? What's the last thoughts you have?
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Yeah, the last minute is intense. Heart rate goes already up, and yeah, it's adrenaline is already kicking in, and now it's time to deliver. And but I actually like those moments, and now it's time to give it. And but for sure, it's a nervous time, and first you get 60 seconds to the start, then you get 30 seconds to the start, and then 15 seconds to the starts, and then the start can happen in every second. So but yeah, it's preparing. I always try to smile, to enjoy actually what's coming, and not to be afraid of what's coming. I think that's really important, that you are not afraid about the competition, that you are actually looking forward to it, that you enjoy it as well, even if it's going to hurt a lot. Okay. Yeah, and I try to get in this mood where I actually, now it's fun.
Very good. Listen, I spoke to a few people, and I just want to acknowledge you for this. And I heard Thomas Frischknecht, who is a legend himself, said about you, Nino is responsible guy for mountain biking in Switzerland. You won 2004, you won European championship title for the first time. Your father Ernst said about you that you were 9 months old and you could walk, and they had to run from that time onwards. They had to run behind you to catch you. Pascal Ducrot, vice president of SCOTT, said about you, you're the most determined person he has ever met. Your mom, Francisca, said Nino was always doing everything very fast mathematics, fast cycling, fast skiing, everything had to be fast. And she mentioned as well that you said as a young boy to your colleagues, I will be a world champion in mountain biking. And not only you did it one time, you did it 11 times, world champion, 7 times overall winner, World Cup. You had a bronze medal, a silver medal, a gold medal, 2 times APSA Cape Epic. I participated in 2008. I thought I have to mention this, but I think your career is absolutely outstanding. Yeah, so congratulations. It's unbelievable.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm just doing what I'm good at, and that's racing. No, I'm for sure. I'm lucky to have the talent to ride fast the bike, and my parents gave me a lot with what you need for a cyclist. And then I was also lucky to meet the right people to the right moment. Like I got into Thomas Frischknecht's team when I was as a junior, 2003. I joined the team in a really professional environment. With my coach, I'm already working since 2000 together. So I met really good people really early, and they actually helped me a lot on that way. And yeah, and now I'm really, really glad I won all those titles, and I hope the journey is not over yet, and still can get some more.
We prepared 2 little clips, and I want to start maybe with the first one to show our listeners and viewers what a normal day in your office looks like. So please, Will, if you would kind of show that first clip. Wow, this is unbelievable. How many
Nice
things
clip.
do you remember? See all these things? Yeah, thank you very much, Will. I think that's an amazing clip. When you see these things, how many races do you remember? You're very visual with all these things I've read.
Mhm. Yeah, I can. I don't. Yeah, some of them I exactly know which race it was, but some of them I just recognize the track. When I go through the tracks, I can actually every corner I know. Ah, this is this corner. This is this corner. I don't know which year it was, but I exactly know the track and where it was. But yeah, it's cool to see those pictures. Yeah, it's always nice to look back to those. Yeah, nice moments where we're successful and we're standing at the top. Yeah.
Very nice. You started, or who was the first person who introduced you to cycling? Obviously, you're from Switzerland. You grew up in the mountains. And how did this all start? How did this passion for cycling come along?
Yeah, for sure. I grew up in a region where it's perfect to ride your mountain bike. I grew up in a little mountain village. Just 30 people lived there, more cows than people. And yeah, there were not much to do than enjoy the nature outside, play outside. And I joined as a kid, 2007, the local ski club. So skiing is quite big in our region. And like a summer activity from that ski club, we went riding, and there was just also this time they just started with a mountain bike cup. It was really still early times of mountain biking, but I was lucky that in Switzerland just a kids cup for mountain biking starts, and there was a race close by, and me and my brother both took part in that race, and we straight on won both in our category. And then we saw we probably have a talent with riding bikes, and we really enjoyed it. To also like in our town to race around with our bikes, chase each other, and yeah, we fall in love with mountain biking. And yeah, we stopped then skiing, or in winter we still did skiing, but not races anymore, and focused more on mountain biking. And then also my father got into mountain biking, my mother as well. So we actually found this passion for cycling as a family together. And then we went often on cycling holidays. Like we went just on the island Elba in Italy, just with the bikes, and we were like on holidays. We were riding around the island just with our bikes, and we really had fun. And for sure, it made it also easier for me that I was from the beginning really successful, and I won from the kids category. I started to win races, and that kept me really motivated to keep going. But I never had really the dream to get a professional. I was really good at it. So, and some of a sudden, I like this cup always had in the end of the year. The winners of the overall, they were invited to a camp, like riding camp. And then there was on one of those camps was Thomas Frischknecht there signing some cards, and they had some stickers. I not even knew him, but that's cool. He's a professional mountain biker. Maybe I also wanted to get that one day. Yeah. So that's how it started.
He's a legend, and obviously now he's a good friend of yours, your team colleague, your team manager, and so on. But when I started getting into a mountain bike sport, he was just the main person, and obviously you and him in a team. That was the Swiss Dream Team.
Yeah, for sure, he did a lot for the sport in Europe. He was one of when in the early days when mountain biking started in the US first. He was actually the first European rider that really said, I also want to be part of that mountain bike family, and got as a first, I would say, one of the first European mountain bike pros. And he helped a lot to let the sport grow in Europe, and especially in Switzerland. And yeah, he's still a legend in the sport, and he did a lot for our sport. Yeah. And I'm really glad now to work with him together. We are now, yes, first I was like teammate with him since 2003 until he retired 2008, I think so. And then since then he's managing the team I'm riding, and yeah, we are good friends, and it's actually great to have someone in the team that exactly knows what you need as a rider.
Yes, yes, very good. Family is very important for you, and when you come home after a long season and you see your mom, what do you ask her to cook for you when you come home? What's the favorite meal?
Yeah, unfortunately, she's not always here to cook for me. So it's more like when we get together as a family, it's more my wife that is cooking now. But yeah, we live in a mountain region, and there's a lot of nice mountain dishes. So I really enjoy those. If you guys ever heard about capoons, is something nice, or maloons. There's a lot of nice dishes from the canton Graubünden. If you come to Switzerland, you guys have to try it out once.
Thank you very much. How much of your success is your talent, and how much is it really you gain through hard work?
Yeah, I think talent you just need to bring with. There's no professional rider without talent. If you don't have the talent, you not even get there. And I think if you have the talent to ride a bike, then you also need to work hard. So I think it needs both. Like, you need to have the talent to just start your career, and then you need hard work to actually get to the top, and even more work to stay at the top.
Yes, we saw in the clip some training regime. You're working over almost 20 years now with your coach, and it's super creative what you do. I've seen the clips. Obviously, Scott made a series, Hunting for Glory, and it was super creative what you did for training. So, and as well that you share the training, it was just amazing. So have you changed over the last 15, 18 years that you're training, or how has this evolved?
So yeah, I was lucky. I met my coach really early, and he was one of the first coaches that really realized that mountain biking is a completely different sport to road cycling or to a lot of other sports. So you need to train different than a road rider. In the early days, a lot of the people just trained like road riders train, because it's a much older sport. So there was much more knowledge about training. But he actually saw mountain biking requires completely different needs. So we started early to spend a lot of time in the gym to get the general fitness, also to train your upper body, because you need a lot of power also on your upper body to hold your handlebar. When it's steep technical uphills, you need like coordination between your legs, your upper body, your core. So you need to train different, and he realized that early. And I started from the beginning. I was training much more than all my colleagues, also my rivals in the gym, and a lot of force training. And at the beginning, everybody was just laughing, that's not really what you need. But now a lot of people realized actually mountain biking, you actually need that. Also, like, the sport changed now over the years. Like 20 years ago, a mountain bike race was also up to 3 hours race time. And today it's race time between 1 hour 20 to 1.5 hours. So it's short, it's intense, it's technical, and it requires a lot of power, a lot of coordination, and for sure as well endurance, but not just endurance. And yeah, that's how I actually try to simulate the race, like, as well to get all those that power and that coordination, and try to get that into gym work. And yeah, I have several videos. Like, I just this spring I recently shared new videos also about my training, how to get fitter, faster, stronger. If you guys are interested to see what I'm doing, go and check it out on YouTube.
Yeah, fantastic. I've seen it, and it's really, really good. And I think some amazing pictures, and obviously the program when you do the intense work, and then you juggle and you jump around. And so it's really fantastic to see this. Yeah. I actually wonder that you share it with all your, let's say, with the competition, that you give these secrets away. I think that's quite remarkable.
Yeah, you know, it's like I don't have to feel I give something away. It's like I also want to, I got a lot from the sport the past years, and I also want to now share some stuff how I did it with young riders that's coming up, and to show how I did it. And I don't think someone can just copy me because of those videos. You know, it's always one part of the training. You know, if you just do the force training same as I, or the intro, also how you build all those exercise together, how you plan your whole season. It's coming so much things together that need to be in the end right to be also in top shape. So if you see just one little part, it helps you, but it's not like you still can't exactly copy myself. So
Yes. So how many pull-ups and push-ups can you do?
Oh, I don't know. It's not something I'm counting. It's like that circle training I'm doing. It's like, for me, like for general fitness combined with coordination and a lot of balance also, like, and then I always do the exercise for 1 minute, and afterwards recovery is 15 seconds doing something coordinative. Like if I do push-ups, afterwards recovering is 15 seconds juggling, and then I go to the next exercise. So I never do it until I can't do it anymore. So but I would say like push up or pull-ups, there are still people that are better than I'm still a cyclist. But yeah, you need, as a mountain biker, you need also to have a strong upper body. If you go down a rough downhill, it's super intense on your arms, or even a steep uphill where you sometimes almost can't get up. Then you need like to hold your bike, and it's a lot of work as well in your arms.
Yes. I've heard as well, you have in-house competition now. You're racing with your little daughter. She's 4, and she likes to play racing, and she likes to play as well either Yolanda or Kate. And then you have to be the opposite rider. So who do you prefer to be, Yolanda or Kate?
That's now a difficult question. So Yolanda is Swiss. I have to be like with the Swiss community, and Kate is my teammate from the Scott team. So that's getting now political here.
So you're changing.
Yeah, but yeah, it's actually fun. Like my daughter, she also enjoys to watch the women races. And then after the races, when we go riding together, she always wants to play. Now I'm Kate and I'm leading and I'm behind, I can't follow anymore. It's actually fun.
No, fantastic. No, I think this is great if you can introduce this, and obviously where you live is amazing, and taking the kids and showing them how to ride the bike. I think that it must be an unbelievable pleasure. Yeah, now with all the technology, e-bikes you can take everywhere. So that's fantastic. Well done. Yeah,
that's something I really enjoy as well. Like to have that time. That's now in those special times where we have not that much competition. I actually enjoy to have a bit more time to spend with my family. I also do a bit more rides with my daughter, and yeah.
Very nice. You said once you never race only for training. You always race to win.
Yeah.
Is this as well for the mindset? And I thought it was very interesting that you say, okay, for some people we hear them, I'm doing a training race or this and this, but I think the mindset and obviously people always say you're extremely strong mentally to be focused and really know you're going to win. And I think if you do every race with the same approach and you always win these races, then you never have this half-hearted race. So I think it's quite remarkable.
I do not a lot of races. Like my race season, I do per year. Like road riders now start to laugh, but I just do 20 race days a year. So, but I really prepare. Like in a mountain bike race, you can't prepare every race perfect. And all the races I take part, I want to be in top shape, and I want to be able to try to get the win. Also, like to get that self-confidence afterwards. You know, like you need to build you up over a season, that you believe in yourself, that you have that self-confidence you need as well then for the big races. And I don't want to go to races where I already know now I trained really hard, probably I'm not fresh, and I probably can't compete with the bests. So you already approach the race with actually a negative feeling, and then you also can't really take that positive vibe away from the race. So I actually prefer to race less, to use the time to train harder in this time. You know, if you don't race, you can also train harder. You don't need as much recovery. If you always race, it's much more like, now it's recovery before the race. And so I do a bit less, I train them more, and if I go to race, I also try to prepare it perfectly and to be fresh at the start line.
Fantastic. We have a second clip, and I ask Will maybe to start the clip, and then we will talk a little bit about what we see in the clip.
Good, yeah.
Well done. Olympic gold in Rio. We had Fabian Cancellara as well on the show. He won Olympic gold in time trial. He looked very happy, same like you on this stage, but that must have been an extremely challenging day. You had bronze medal, you had a silver medal, and then going to Rio 2016 for gold. That was the only aim or the only thing you had left to win. How was that? How was that pressure? How did you cope with that?
Yeah, it was intense. Yeah, for me it was clear. I have the only target I have. I want to now win. I won in Beijing. I won bronze. Then in London it was really close, and I got second behind Jaroslav, just 20 centimeters behind him, and there I was really disappointed. I didn't reach my dream, and I knew getting into Rio, I want to do everything perfect to win that gold medal. And yeah, for myself, it was just the only way I want to get out there with a gold medal. And yeah, I made me a high pressure myself, but I also I'm really good if I feel the pressure. And yeah, everything went perfectly. I got in. I had a great season 2016. And I knew I'm in perfect shape. I can't be better. I did everything what I could, and now I just need that little bit of good luck you also need in the end. Yeah, it was insane to win that gold medal, and a big dream came true for me. Yeah.
Fantastic. And then you followed it up with 2017, which is kind of the Grand Slam of cycling. Absolutely unbeaten. You won APSA Cape Epic, you won all the events, overall World Cup, everything, completely season unbeaten. This is, I think, never happened before, I guess.
Yeah, I think was like after 2016, I was like, for myself, I won actually everything what I really wanted. So I felt much less pressure, but I still like, now I knew everything what I need to be to be on my best. And I still were able to take the benefits of that knowledge, that what I exactly know, what I need to do to be in top shape, but without that pressure. And you know, if you don't have that pressure anymore, everything gets much easier as well, I think. And like 17, I started the World Cup races always like, I don't really care about if I'm good and good. If not, it's not the end of the world. And I approached actually every race like this, like as well, like Cape Epic, it's extremely hard race over 8 days where you need a lot of good luck, you need a lot of things coming together, but I never was stressed about it, and so yeah, it's everything gets much easier as soon as you get a bit calm and you exactly know what you're able to. And then during the season, when I saw now I won 5 World Cup races, I started to make myself again some pressure. Yeah, now I should do the perfect season. Now I already won 4 World Cups, so I need to win the next ones as well. And then I won the World Cup with just wins, and then I was thinking, yeah, now I also need to get world champion. So for me, it was just as well. It was like I don't really make me the pressure anymore, but it was also like it's the only goal what I have, everything or nothing. And I also had the luck and also the team around me that supported me. I never had a mechanical in this season. I never had anything going wrong, and I was always healthy. But that's for sure also a big thanks to my strong team, like to have the best stuff around me.
Yeah, your mechanic Yannick is quite famous. Yannick the mechanic.
Yannick the mechanic, yeah.
That's quite a good show for everyone who is technically minded. Scott has done a great job there, kind of showing technical advice. They're showing how they build your bikes, and that's actually quite amazing, this show. And I heard he prepared a pink chain ring for you for Tokyo.
Yeah, he's definitely doing a great job. He's really important. Not just him, also our other mechanics. We have 3 mechanics in the team, but they're all really doing a great work to prepare our bikes. It's really important that our tools are in the best possible conditions. Mechanicals can happen quick, and mostly it's a fault of the rider, but sometimes it's also like the bike need to be just 100%, and they really do a great job. And in Tokyo there are some really steep uphills, I can tell you. And if you don't race it with race speed, it's hard to just get up. So I asked him to mount me once. I think I was asking for 36 chain ring. Normally I'm always racing the 38. And then I said, Yannick just told me, I just mount your 36 if I have to mount it, I will paint it pink. But then in the race, I didn't needed it. So like in the race speed, it's okay to go up with a 38, but in training, I was like, wow, that's tough to ride up here. But let's hope we can race next year there. Yeah. It's still not sure. Yeah.
So this would be right now, you would be in Tokyo and you would race, isn't it?
Our race would already be over. So I would already know if I was able to defend my title. Yes. But yeah, now things changed, and you just need to be take it as it comes, and hopefully we can battle next year in Tokyo.
Very good. When you put your race helmet on and you're in the start line, how much of your mentality, how much of Nino Schurter is changing to the Nino Schurter racing? What is changing?
I don't think I'm changing. I'm still the same. What I'm doing, I try to focus on what I need to do now. Like I try to get in that tunnel, like all the things you're just thinking about, or all the troubles you have around, to put that on the side, and then now it's just focus on the race and giving everything. But I think I'm not changing as a person.
Okay. You had always competition, strong competition, but I feel when I see with all the champions I've spoken to, it's always good if there's a competition. So Julian Absalon, Joseph Koljavi, now Mathieu van der Poel. So I think this is obviously nice for a champion if you really can compete against another champion and it really pushes your level. So what are the greatest battles you remember with Julian when he was one of the legends and then you beat him? So how do you remember these days?
Yeah, I think it's really important to have like those those rivals, you really know you need to give everything to beat them. And yeah, I always had those big rivals with Julia Opsano. I had really a lot of amazing battles. Sometimes he won, sometimes I won, and you know that just makes you stronger. And when you get back from a race, you couldn't beat him. You were just thinking, now next time I need to somehow get a way to get better and stronger than him. And that keeps you alive as an athlete and keeps you creative. And with Julia, I had so many amazing battles, sprint finishes. For sure, one of the first ones, like when I got the first Elite World Champion title in 2009. He was unbeatable to this time. He won. Yeah, he just got double Olympic champion. So he was in 2004 and 2008 Olympic champion. He was just the man to beat. And in 2009, I was at the World Championships. I was the first time able to stay with him during the race, and I knew now I tried to get my chance, maybe to beat him in the sprint and to be a bit smarter in the last lap. And I overtook him in the last wide section, and then I just gave everything. Probably I gave more than I was actually able to give, but with knowing now I have the greatest mountain bike rider of all times behind me, and maybe I can beat him at World Championships. I was flying, and then I won my first Elite World Champion title as youngest athlete ever in front of Julia Opsalo, and that was insane. Like I still, when I think back to races, it's still one of my favorite races. Like to get that feeling for the first time. And then with the time, we have a lot of great sprint finishes. In Albstadt, we have had several nice battles. Dalby Forest was also a nice one. Yeah, in Albstadt, once he won when I crashed in one of the last corners, and then he overtook me in one of the, I think, third last corner. I slept away, and then he won. The next year, I won again, and and other battles, with Yaroslav, I also had a lot of nice battles. Like mostly when I was battling with him, he won more than I. It was always when it was close, he won mostly, or I dropped him earlier. But like London Olympic Games, where it was really close, I was leading, and also there in one of the last corners, he overtook me. Now with Mathieu van der Poel, he's a great rival. He keeps me young, I try to give everything also to beat him. Yeah.
You had Mathieu is obviously riding as well on the road. You had as well a trip on the road with Orica Greenedge. How was that to ride to the Swiss on the racing bike?
Yeah, I think it's a bit different, like how Mathieu is doing or I did. He grew up in a cycling family. He did already from the beginning. He did a bit of everything. I was as a kid, I started with mountain biking, and I was always a mountain biker. And I just once I got that opportunity to race with Orica Greenedge 2014. Mm-hmm. To race the Tour de Suisse and the Tour de Romandie back home, and I was thinking, it's an awesome chance to see once that world. That could be something for me, or also like to get a bit different training input once. And I really enjoyed it. It was awesome to race, but I also realized that I'm the mountain biker. That's what I really enjoy. It's like riding off-road, riding in the forest, away from traffic. That's really what I'm passionate about it. And I couldn't really think that also could be a world for myself. Also, like as a mountain biker, you can be a bit more like your own individuality. Yeah. And on a road team, when you start, you you need to much more integrate in a team, and it's much more team sport than mountain biking. And I was also always like that kind of rider that wanted to decide myself when I'm doing what in a race. And so I was awesome to race once on the road, but now I'm just, if I get the chance to race like smaller races, it's great for training sometimes. It gives you nice speed, it gives you a bit higher cadence. But for racing, I'm the mountain biker.
You have been extremely consistent over your career. I saw some pictures on Instagram from you when you were really a little boy with your first Scott bike, when the saddle was just almost completely in the frame. You've been extremely consistent, obviously, with Scott, who is a strong partner for you over many years. You've been extremely consistent with your coach, Nicolas Siegenthaler. So is the consistency a key for the success for you?
I think so, yeah. You know, if it still needs to, somehow it needs to match, but if it matches and you can work long time together, everything gets a bit more, gets easier. Like a lot of things gets automatically are working already perfect. And if you're always changing a team or a coach, you need to somehow to figure it out how you can work best together. And yeah, I was lucky. I always had the feeling I don't need a change. I'm with the right people, and I don't want to change something on it. And I think now looking back, it's one part why I was so consistent over the past years, that I always had people around me that exactly knew what I need, how they need to work with me, that everybody's happy, and yeah.
Very nice. You have seen, obviously, over the last years, you have so many changes from 26-inch, 27.5, 29. What do you consider the biggest change we have seen in the last couple of years, technology-wise?
Yeah, there's a lot of things. I think one of the first changes I was part of it. This was like getting to disc brakes, like on mountain biking. Getting the first disc brake was a huge benefit and a big step. But also there at the beginning, some people say, it's not the right thing. But now everybody realizes it's actually nothing else that works on the mountain bike. And then yeah, with the wheels, we went through a lot. From 26, we went to 27.5, now to 29er. Then a lot of the geometries on the bikes changed. Like at the beginning, yes. I wasn't happy with the 29ers because they were just blew up from 26 bikes, and yes. The geometry wasn't right. So that's also why we started in between with the 27.5 inches. And then today 29er for sure is the best option for most riders. Then in tires, we went through a lot. Like looking back, like some pictures is like when I see the small tires we had on, I still think, how could you ride those technical trails with such thin tires without volume? Like it's today, yeah. You get all the grip from the big volume. You get some comfort, some suspension, and I think that was also a big change. Like the good tires were for today, like big volumes, like the rubber that works. No tubes anymore with tubeless. It's like I think that's changed also a lot how you ride a bike today, and also like the narrow handlebars. Yes. Like some pictures I see from me from 10 years ago was like this, and today we ride like this. Yeah, it always, you think, yeah, now it can't get much better anymore, but there's still improvements what you maybe don't see today, but as soon as you feel it, you see, yeah, it's a big step. And that would, one of the recent changes, I think, is electronic shifting.
Yes.
Like the AXS SRAM, it's like at the beginning you think, yeah, it's not a lot different, but then you realize if every shift feels the same and everything it goes just by click, and you are much more you can settings on your cockpit. It's also a big step when now looking back from 2 years ago. Just yeah.
Yes.
And drop receipt post is also something in mountain bike. Like it's something that helps really a lot. I always in training have one on. In racing, I'm still a bit going back and forwards because I'm still a bit like the weight is still sometimes a bit too much for me, but it's also something that changes a lot in our sport. Have a dropper post, it allows you just to go much faster down the hill.
I remember the spring we had on the seat post. There was a spring behind the seat post, and when you open your quick release, you could push it down, and then it was going up again. See, I think sometimes what are we missing right now? As you said, when riding these narrow tires, riding the narrow handlebars, riding 26-inch wheels, and you think like, okay, that was the biggest thing. And now you think we're riding so many different technologies, and I'm thinking always, what are we missing right now? And in 2-3 years, we will look back and we will see, okay, how could we ever have ridden a bike like this? And not seeing something like what we're completely missing out now. Tire pressure on a racing bike is for me an unbelievable change. And obviously the suspension level and so on. And I'm really happy, obviously, we're happy to have you on Scott bikes and working with Scott over so many years and seeing all the improvements coming out. So I think hands down, these are the best mountain bikes in the world. Yeah, there's for me, no question. Especially the one with the lockout and the traction mode and so on. So is this something you use a lot? I heard you use it 200 times in a race, that you open and close the suspension on the rear and front?
Yeah, it's something I use really a lot. We did once testing about how much I'm using it, and yeah, they can't like that I'm using about 200 times the lever during a race. Yeah, it's I think the twin lock system on Scott bikes is something really amazing, like especially for racing. Like if you need it locked up a hill on tarmac, it's completely locked. If you have just a bumpy uphill where you just need a little bit of suspension, you have the trail mode, and for rough downhills you can open it up full. And I think that makes Scott really unique in the whole suspension section, and something how much I'm using it during a race. It actually shows how much it helps me, like going back forwards sometimes just for 2 meters. If I'm standing up if I see it's a flat bit, you stand up, it's locked, it's open, and it's like, as a rider, as you need to pull the trigger, you can look, you see ahead what's coming, and you have your bike already set up for that section, and that makes it for me the perfect system. And for me it's also really cool to be able to work with Scott that close together, like with all the engineers at Scott. It's actually really cool that you're also listening to our needs, what we need in racing, and it's cool to develop new products together with them and make the bike even faster.
Very good. If you had to pick one part of the bicycle, what's your favorite bike gadget? Is there anything special what you couldn't miss?
Yeah, I think everything on the bike you need, but I don't know. It's
tire
something pressure? Tire pressure for sure. It's really important. If you set out wrong, bike feels completely wrong. But as well with suspension, if your suspension is not set up right, the bike also feels completely wrong. So it's actually important that you have a good job. I'm sure you do that with your clients, like to set up the bike right for every client, that the suspension is right, to tell them the tire pressure needs to be there and there, and then a bike feels right. You can get the best bike if you don't set up it right. Then it's actually sad to see. Sometimes I see people with the best bikes, but then the rear shock is like way too soft, and they're already hanging in the bike, so the geometry is already completely wrong, or they're riding mostly a lot of what you see a lot. It's way too much tire pressure. So over 2 bars is for nobody, right? With the big volumes, you need low tire pressure to get traction, to get that comfort. So I'm riding between 1.15 to 1.3 bars and no more. And if you're a bit heavier, a bit more, but if you see some guys with 3 bars riding around, you can have the best suspension, but the tire is just jumping away from every rock or root, and it's hard to control the bike then. And yeah, and a good gadget what I'm like to use on my bike is like now with all those measurement systems, like I have a power meter together with a Garmin computer to actually see all those the straight away feedbacks, how you perform, and to be able to measure actually your input. And yeah, that's cool gadgets. Yeah.
But how important is this during a race, power meter? Is this something you look at later, but during a race you're checking it, or is it something you just go by feel?
Like a mountain bike race, like cross country, Olympic distance, you can't watch. Like it's like at the start you're already completely in the red zone, then steep uphills, just red zone, and so you can't really watch and you can't pace yourself. You just need to react how the race is going, and you can't really pace yourself also because it's like, can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you.
I still can hear you.
At the moment, I can't hear you.
I can hear you. All good.
Yeah, now you're back.
Hello?
Now you're back.
Yeah. Yeah, we probably had a connection problem. I can hear you. I was always fine. Good. So in the mountain bike race, cross country, you can't really pace yourself. It's just, you need to go flat out from the start. But like Cape Epic or like those longer marathon races or stage racing, for sure we pace ourselves there. You know what you can deliver over that long climb, and then you pace yourself like you also do on the road. But a mountain bike race, it's impossible to pace.
Is there something besides World Championship titles? Is there anything else you're collecting? Is there any thing you like to collect?
In sport or behind, next to sport?
Besides sports, you're collecting anything?
Not really, no.
Only World Championship titles.
Yeah, no, I'm not collecting anything. Like, I collect. It's still something from all big races. I collect or keep my bike. So I still have my bike from 2008, where I rode my first Olympic Games. I got bronze. I have my world champion bike from 2009. So I keep all those bikes, but it has to do also with the sport.
Very good. Do you have a Scott Strike?
I know I don't have I never that was before I was racing on a Strike.
Yes, I saw you.
But I never, that was when I still was cadet, not even junior. So I didn't keep those bikes. Back then I didn't knew that one day I want to look back and see still have those bikes. But I just like to see the bike I'm used in 2008 in Beijing at the Olympics. It's a completely different world now. You know, it's 12 years ago. It's like, there we had the narrow handlebars, the narrow tires, yeah.
Do you have times and things you can compare, and do you ride them sometimes, that you take the old bikes out just to feel how it was, or you normally ride only your new stuff?
So far, I never took them out to ride. They're also like, now they're all a bit around. So some of them I have at my parents' house, some of them has Yannick. But I'm sure there is coming a time where I want to get back on those bikes, and once I also want to get them somewhere together on one place. And but it's just nice for me to know I still have those bikes. And
Very nice. So now after we have this lockdown in COVID times, you have stayed more time at home. Is there anything you feel we learned from this situation and you want to continue doing this? How did you get through it? Switzerland, I think, was fairly open. You could still do a lot of things, but would you feel you want to keep something what you learned and practiced during these days?
Yeah, I think like you always need to see the positive side, and I think what I felt here in Switzerland, like the help in between was really nice to feel that the people are really, they are here for each other if they really need help. And that was something I really was thinking, that's something really nice to experience, that if it's really something happens, you can count on your neighbors or your friends. And that was actually cool to see. But I think as soon as we get out of this situation, we are falling back to everything what we had before. I think we human beings, we just want to get back to that, how we already are used to it. But yeah, I still think there's what we should learn out of it is that how fragile everything is. Like sometimes we think everything is already like set how it has to be, but a small thing like this virus can change everything, and our system is quite fragile. And this time, yeah, like the whole system somehow collapsed. But sometimes it's also just something small, but you need to be realistic, or that sometimes something can go wrong, and not if everything goes nicely and you take it as normal. You should then really enjoy this time as well.
Yes. So when you now stayed more time at home and your wife said you have to take care of the cleaning or the cooking, what was your part in the house?
Yeah, I'm still not good at this. No, we all work together at home, and we actually enjoy our home at our home together, and everybody has his jobs to do. And sometimes I cook, sometimes she cooks. Cleaning, we also like. I think we share. We have a good share of everything. Maybe when you ask her, she tells you something different.
Okay, I will. We'll ask her. Is there anything on your bucket list what you want to achieve? You have obviously achieved so many things in life, but is there something even in cycling or outside cycling you want to do?
Yeah, in cycling, there's still some races I didn't have time to do now as a professional that I one day want to do or try the chance to also do those races. There's a lot of cool races like a Trans Provence, then like a Brazil ride or a BC race. There's a lot of cool races I'm probably going to do as soon as I retire from World Cup racing, and maybe do a bit more of those events. And another thing, I just started now due to the Corona time. I always was thinking I want to do a pilot license, and now I took the chance because I didn't had any competitions for a long time. I started a helicopter pilot license, and I'm just busy right now. As soon as I'm over with training, I go flying a helicopter, and I'm busy doing my private pilot license. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
And yeah, there are other things like see the world.
Yes.
I really enjoy to see different countries, to travel. Yeah. And I hope one day we can get back to this and also travel again and see the world from the nicest parts.
Absolutely. I know as well you listen to podcasts. Is there any podcast you listen you really enjoy?
I just started recently to listen a bit to podcasts. It was before Corona. I never really got in. Now I got a few requests for podcasts to take part. And now I got into a bit of sports podcast, but mostly from people I know, like Andrew Neatling. He's also one of our Scott family, a downhill rider. He's just starting the podcast with riders. I sometimes listen to this. Then I started to listen now a bit of some pilot podcast. Like recently I just listened to one because I was a big thing for me, like my first solo in a helicopter, and there was like podcasts about how you should approach your first solo, and so I listened to this kind. And then there's some Swiss podcasts from our Swiss some cool productions I listen when I have to drive for and have nothing else to do.
Very good. There's one podcast, I think somebody's pretending to be you. They make an interview. It's on.
Okay.
I was listening, and it was a Spanish guy pretending to be Nino Schurter, and he was having an interview. So I was like,
okay, I need to check that.
Check it out. Yes.
So was it good or bad?
It was 3 minutes. You're better live. You're better in real. Yeah, so it was only a copy.
Okay.
I have a few quick questions to come to an end, and I want to just ask you, what was the best day of your life so far?
The best day of my life was probably when my daughter got born. It was
very good.
The best.
Yes.
Something that changes your life forever, and you will never forget.
Very good. It's too early to, if you finish the sentence.
To retire. Still big goals ahead. Tokyo still coming. Still want to beat Julie Absalor's records in World Cup wins. I still need one more win, so it's too early to retire.
You have an idol or a hero, somebody you is inspiring you as a person inside or outside the sport?
I always I enjoy to watch like inspiring people from sport, like what big legends, what they achieved, but it's not one person. I just exactly this one. I enjoy to see documentaries about athletes that are doing something great. And it can be climbers, it can be cyclists, can be a bit of everything, but I don't have one idol I'm looking up.
Very good. If you write a book about your career, what would be the title?
Still too early to write a book.
And if you go for a karaoke bar, what song would you sing?
That you don't want to hear. I'm a really bad singer. That's something I know for sure. I'm one of the baddest. But I can remember once I was after the race in Laregno. I was together with Julia Absalor. We were together in a karaoke bar, and we both had to sing songs. And we just picked the most funny ones. I think so. I think I had to sing one from Britney Spears or something. But it's just because it anyway sounds bad.
Very good. You have a favorite quote? Anything you live by? Anything which inspires you? Obviously, Scott has no shortcuts. You have something, Nino Schurter?
Yeah, it's one I'm really also the no shortcuts. It's something that works really well as well for me, and I think it's a really good slogan. There's no shortcut in life. There's no shortcut in sport, and yeah, I think it's one I really like. Yeah.
Yes, we saw this as well when we looked at it a little deeper for our team as well. We thought that was a really good message, and it's something for us where we live by now as well. We want to do everything at the high level.
Yeah, I think it's not just in sport. It's like also as a company, in family. To be happy, you need to play after rules everywhere, and there are no shortcuts to success or to a happy life. And I think that's a slogan that works really good. Yeah.
Is there one person, dead or alive, you would like to spend a day and get inspired? Is there anyone you could pick?
yeah, there's like now as a Swiss, like that most of the athletes are saying is Roger Federer, like wants to get his secrets once. It's now also now in this time it's actually remarkable. Like he's how he can now how he's still motivated to keep going and to be top, and also wants to get all his secrets, to get to know how he gets through, and also like the secrets about to be so famous and still be with both foot on the ground. Yeah.
Very good. Last question. What piece of advice would you give the viewers? Just general Nino Schurter advice for life, for mountain biking, anything. You can pick anything.
Just have fun. Go out and ride your bike. I think that's next to no shortcuts. It's that really important that what you do, you need to do with fun, and don't see the goal or where you want to get to. It's more about how you want to get there, and you want to get there with a lot of fun. And I think that's really important, especially also for young riders that want to try that way of getting a professional mountain bike or rider, to still keep it fun and not take it too serious. And if it works, it works, and if not, it's not the end of the world.
Yes, that's very good. Hey Nino, it was amazing. It was absolutely great fun for me to research your career. Obviously, I followed it because we are with Scott now for 18 years. As long as you are with Scott, we are with Scott, and we have really, and it's always a great pleasure to see you winning, because that makes selling the bikes easier. And thanks for all the development, obviously, with all the suspension, with the wheels 27.5, and we're really looking forward to see you racing in Tokyo and holding up the next gold medal, hopefully. And we hope to see you in Dubai one day with your family, and it would be great to meet up and maybe take you for dinner and show you a bit around. And thanks, and we wish you all the best, and we really, really appreciate the time that you took to speak to us.
Yeah, thank you for all the interested questions. It was awesome to talk with you, and I also really hope to see you one day in Dubai again. I really enjoyed my last time there, and I'm sure one day I'm back in Dubai.
That would be great. Thank you so much. I wish you a good evening. Next week, we have Castelli and Chapter 3 ambassador, 3 times Giro Italia, Tour de France, Mr. David Miller is next week on our show. Nino,
nice.
Thank you so much. Yeah,
thank you. All the best. Cheers. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Ciao. Thank you. Thank you everyone for watching. Bye-bye.